I feel like there's a lot of things, a lot of topics that I can talk about on this channel that would, not offend anybody in, too much of ways, right? A lot of this is just me questioning. A lot of this is just me, my wonderings, my personal experiences. It's pretty easy to say politically correct and not trip over any toes or cross the line for a lot of things. However, when you talk about, Israel and Palestine, even using the words Israel versus Gaza versus Palestine versus the West Bank, even the words you choose to label these areas of land ultimately spark debate and spark argument and confusion and a lot of emotion. Um, in high school, I ran a theology club where we looked at how various religions practice their faith, whether in the past, in the future, how religions stack up against one another. We even delved into philosophies and, like Buddhism, Taoism, Greek philosophy even. But I never wanted to look at, you know, the conflict of Israel, Palestine, Gaza, you know, because even the date, I started looking at history, I looked at, an article from, Palestinian leading news sources, and they start, dictating history a lot later than, someone like Ben Shapiro um, would argue. And a lot of it just got me thinking where, I want to stay informed about all sorts of topics because I think that's the right thing to do as a human. Look at data, look at statistics, right? But it becomes hard, especially with such a contested, you know, situation like this. And, you know, but I did seek solace, and I did find that out of every source, every journalistic piece, every media coverage, you can look back to 2014. And I bring up the year 2014, and that's because the entertainer, filmmaker, just chef, Anthony Bourdain, released his um, episode from Parts Unknown, where he'll go to various places around the world and show human life, where he both visited villages in Jerusalem and Palestine, or the West Bank, whatever floats your boat. Um, and, to me, that has done more to shape my views than any of these news sources, I can say. And, he did win an award because of it, um, that episode from the Public Affairs Council. And, in his speech, he said, just to directly quote him, the world has visited many terrible things on the Palestinian people, none more shameful than robbing them of their basic humanity. And, he kind of applied that same rhetoric to the Jewish people that reside within Jerusalem. Throughout his episode, of course, he'll talk about, the history and the complications and the politics, but the focus of the episode was like what Bourdain said, was humans doing human things. And I think that is something that can take in, more closer look at. You say, I'm not even going to throw out numbers there because even that is something of controversy. But if you say X amount of innocent Palestinians have passed away, X amount of innocent Israelis have passed away, X amount of people have been held hostage, Bourdain brought up a good point that, statistics are not just statistics, especially with humans. All I can say is I'm not going to comment on my opinion or even a solution, the idea of a two-state or one-state or all these sort of conjuring up peace deals, ceasefires, all those sort of words that get thrown out. Because truth be told, I don't think I'm well equipped enough to throw my hat in the ring on such a nuanced issue. And just for saying that, I will probably accrue some hate, and I think that's fine because a lot of people have a lot of stake in this. But I think something we should all agree on is that positivity will always win, no matter how you slice and dice it. And I think that's something that Bourdain reflected that is just not very apparent today. It's a lot of finger pointing, and I understand that both sides have good, valid arguments as to why they are upset. But my only point from this video that I would like to highlight is, something that I think Bourdain covered extensively that has been lost in the modern day, of that idea of humanity. In his documentary, he showed traditional cooking of both Jewish people and Palestinian people, families interacting with one another, kids growing up, what day in the life, these are people just like you and I, this is not a spectacle, these people have their hopes, their dreams, you know, just, just like me. And to sit here and comment on this in itself feels pathetic and carries a lot of humility in the sense where I'm going to sit here and act like I know what I'm talking about, when in reality I am just as clueless and I should remain as clueless, you know. But on that note, here in the States, I've just heard way too much anti-Semitism and way too much Islamophobia for anybody's good, and I think we can all agree that that will not be of any help. And I hope I didn't disappoint you by not giving my 2 cents into the situation, because um, I don't think offering my opinion will do any good at this point. Um, but just to utter the words of Anthony Bourdain, um, you know, statistics, humans are not statistics. Humanity is beautiful in all aspects. Doesn't matter, what religion you carry or which side of the border you fall on. Humanity is a beautiful thing, and we all deserve the fruits of it. And I hope that's something we can all agree on. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day. I hope you enjoy your day. Rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain, and I will see you tomorrow.